lyrical. They still got that glint in their eye, Team Usyk, that they always have, like they know something we don't.
And in the past, they have known something that we don't. They've known how to beat whoever it is in the opposite corner. I'm looking at them there. Let me just turn around now. I need to see this with my own eyes. Now, I think that is a harsher, steelier look than we've seen in the past. That looks a little bit more serious than normal. Intent. No one's breaking that, Andy.
No, it's going to be tricky.
No one's breaking that now.
To get them to turn away here, they might need a piece of paper to put it between them so that gaze
This is quite
broken.
fiery, this.
There's just a sense here that
a real sense of something
could happen, because you see the security just gather and you can feel it. You can feel that whiff of cordite sometimes, that something's about to go off.
And you never felt that at any other stare-off between these two. This is the first time I've been present at one of their stare-offs. It's probably about the full 4/5 stare-off. It's never been this intense, never.
And it's going to take one of the team members here to convince either one of them that this long stare down needs to be broken. They stared into each other's souls for 12 rounds, didn't they, back in May, and they saw no weakness, and they're continuing to do it now, and they still see
They're still looking, but they've not found it, Andy. This is incredibly intense. It's maybe not going to set records for stare downs, but they've stared down now longer than they've ever done in the past, and it's about as intense as I've seen it. No comedy, no faces, just a glare and a stare.
Neither one is twitching even a fibre of a muscle. They are absolutely still. They're like statues.
How long do you leave them, Andy? What do you think?
I don't really know how you go about separating people in this situation. I mentioned a piece of paper you can put between them just to break the gaze, but it takes quite a brave person, honestly, to put their hands on either one of these two in this kind of situation, because they're in the zone here.
Yeah.
They're not really aware of anything that's going on outside of this.
They have no idea. And what's interesting, Alec Krasser, who I would expect to be on Usyk's shoulder, he's not. He's 4 people back. And there's no one close to Tyson apart from Brendan, his personal security. So I'm thinking it's going to be Brendan touches. I'm trying to see the body language of the people surrounding them, which way they fancy going, because this is really intense.
It's amazing, they're not even blinking. It's like looking at a pair of waxworks in Madame Tussauds. And this is important to them now. It's gone on this long. You cannot be the first person to look away.
Absolutely. After 30 seconds with a smile, you can do it. 40 seconds. But we've gone to a different level here. We've gone to a new arena for these two.
Spencer Brown just craning his neck to get a good look over from the far side there. The cameramen staying exactly where they are. Alec Krasser just making a
was
motion.
signalling to someone. Did you see that? Was he signalling to Sergei Lapin? Maybe.
And Fury's gone into that place. They both have in this current moment, but in camp as well, he's gone into that place. He's gone for that old school seclusion where he's really just sat in the misery of defeat. He claims otherwise, that he didn't really take time to process it.
Rubbish.
It is what it is.
Yeah, rubbish.
That's not what they do.
Absolute rubbish. You know and I know that's not the case. He's in a hole, he's been in a hole, and it's a dark hole and it's a black hole, and he's been in those places before. He's battled in his head every single moon and every single night, Alexander Usyk. He's never going to admit it, but we know it. You can see it in his eyes.
This is amazing.
I wish we'd have run a clock over this, Andy.
How long is this going to go on for? Because, as you said, we've got to the point now, so far past the point of no return with this. Somebody is going to have to look away, and neither one of them is going to give any ground here. It's who gets out of the sauna first. Nobody wants to get out first.
Perhaps we need here, this is when Frank Warren or Bob Arum. Bob Arum's left the stage. I believe Frank Warren has too. So we're left with other people, maybe people that would maybe have a risk stepping in between them. Turki Al-Sheikh left the stage several minutes ago.
I think really he's the only person in this situation who can handle this, because if you're a team member of Usyk or Fury, I would be very reluctant to try and tell either one of them, look, we need to go, because they won't like it. They won't take kindly to it.
And I can see Spencer Brown has now got closer. Krasik's moved a little bit closer. Krasik and Spencer Brown are laughing. I'm looking at their lips. I don't think they're talking, Andy. I think it's just the face, just the eyes, just the look.
And that's the scene. It's just encapsulated perfectly below that banner. Reignited. Usyk Fury 2. We're a couple of days away. And this week, as we said at the start, we hit the ground running. We were at full throttle straight away because we had the story from May. We had the narrative in place. We saw immediately. We did a sit-downs on Monday, Stephen. Anyone who went anywhere near Fury, you could get the vibe off him.
Straight away.
The aura off him that things were different. That things were different this time. No fun and games. He wasn't relaxed at the start of the week. He just wanted to get down to business. And Usyk has always been that way. He's always been that way. And there's not really anything anyone can do here.
Andy, I think we might be up to 6 or 7 minutes here. I really do. I wish we'd have kept a bit of movement from Fury. Just his shoulders moving. He's not talking, but they are nodding at each other. So they're communicating with their eyes, Andy.
He threw us a feint there, Tyson, didn't he? Just
a little movement, yeah.
And people might wonder why this is important. Why does it matter? You don't win a fight in a stare down. That's what people say. But when it gets to this kind of level, this kind of length, now it does matter.
And Lennox Lewis would disagree with you. He said, I'd win my fights at the press conference, at the weigh-in, in the ring before the first bell. Everyone talks about Mike Tyson taking people's souls beforehand. He does it.
Maurizio Suleiman has just
someone's pulling
to the stage here. Maurizio Suleiman is getting in the middle of the two of them. I saw Spencer Brown just kind of call him up, and they're trying to use him as that impartial.
They're slightly further apart now, Andy, as well. There are now hundreds of people surrounding, cameras, lenses everywhere, microphones being dropped in. The security are trying to work out an easy exit way. The two boxers are now a foot further apart. Tyson's shaking his head. There's a lot of people in the middle. Maurizio Suleiman is pleading. He's pleading with Usyk, Andy, pleading.
It's been going 7 minutes, I'm told. What they're going to have to do here is they're going to have to make sure these two both reverse out, aren't they? Nobody's going to want to turn around, but if they get them separated by enough distance, eventually they'll lose that eye contact.
But Andy, they're in a standoff, a cul-de-sac of their own emotions. This is not going to be easy to reverse from. They're not going to break into smile, shake each other's hands and walk off and grab a soft drink on the way to their hotel rooms.
Well, somebody's holding up an accreditation there, and I think that was
to try and break the stare.
To try and break the stare. This is where Tyson Fury, being 6'9", is really unhelpful, because if you have somebody the same height or a couple of really big lads, you could get them in there and block his gaze.
Maurizio Suleiman of the WBC, he's now appealing to Brendan. Big Brendan, who goes everywhere with Tyson Fury. Brendan's talking back, and I don't think it's necessarily very good what he's saying. No one's going to break these two. They're going to do this until at some mutual point, or worse, something happens.
Usyk's just kind of moving on the balls of his feet there. And people watching might be wondering, why doesn't somebody just get in and break this up? But these are two big men. These are two heavyweight fighters. And when you've been around them during these weeks, and you've done it so many times, and you get towards the business end, and they're flicking that switch, you've got to be careful around them. You have to be
careful. Are talking now, Andy. Sorry for cutting across you. They are talking now, and that's generally a sign that we can get somewhere, because the focus, the pure staring, has been broken.
Okay, a handkerchief is out. Somebody's trying to use that crimson handkerchief as a means of, again, breaking the gaze. I think Fury was saying to him there, I'm going to smash you to pieces, but he's got quite a lot to say. Usyk hasn't got anything to say. You're getting annihilated, I'm being told in my ear, is the content of what Fury's saying there.
Well, if they're talking, they can lead to laughter. Laughter can end to this deadlock, this impasse being broken. I'm convinced of it.
Okay, I think
it looks like Usyk's giving him plenty back as well.
I kind of feel for Maurizio Suleiman here, to be honest, because he was dragged up there by Spencer Brown and given the responsibility of sorting this out, and there's not much he can do, really.
Well, the good thing is he's now thought up a new idea. He's going to have a staring belt.
Okay, so Brendan is coming in now.
Now it's getting physical. Brendan's there. Tyson's not liking it. He's not having it at all.
And that's the danger.
Now Usyk's personal bodyguard is getting in between them. He's going to stand with his back to Tyson. We thought it might turn ugly, Andy. We're on the very edge now.
10 minutes. They've been standing in front of each other now 10 minutes. They're just increasing the distance between them, bit by bit by bit. They're just managing to ease him back. But you saw his initial reaction there to his security guard, Brendan, just getting a hold of him. He didn't like it, and that's why you have to be very, very careful, because when they go to that place, when they're in that zone, as Steve said, everything else around them ceases to exist. There's a couple of hundred people in this room. They're not seeing anybody else. They're not seeing the cameras. They're not seeing anybody else. They're just seeing each other. But this might be coming to an end fairly soon, I think, but Fury seems to move back closer again, if anything.
The stare down's finished. They've broken away at a distance. Now it's just insults. But it is serious there. It's high velocity on that stage. It's extremely volatile on that stage. Tyson Fury is gesticulating. Brendan, who's a big boy, is at full pelt holding him.
Fury just pointing his finger at Usyk there and wagging it at him.